Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andrew from AR Media, and tonight's video I want to review the Florida Project in 4K. So I wasn't even going to make a video about this, but I just finished watching it and I have to make a video about it. The movie completely took me by storm, it completely swept me, and I have to talk about it. So let's talk about the movie first. Now, I'm actually surprised it didn't get more Oscar nominations, but Willem Dafoe is up for Best Supporting Actor. I don't think he's going to take it home, but he did do a fantastic job in here. What this movie follows is a mother and a daughter living on the outskirts of Disney on the strip of motels. Now, for those who don't know, and I did not know this before this movie, that's actually a pretty popular destination for people to be living week to week in motels. There's a ton of weekly rate motels on that strip, and if you look it up, all the locations that this movie was shot in are actually real locations outside of Disney. And what this movie is about is the hardships that they go through living in what essentially is the Florida Projects, living paycheck to paycheck. And Haley and Mooney have a amazing dynamic together. Now, Haley isn't always going to be making the best decisions, and that's one thing I'll say before this movie is you're going to see some things in here that may anger you or may disappoint you or may upset you, because some of the actions Haley takes as a mother just really isn't good. And also Mooney as a kid is at times just very disrespectful, feels entitled for all the wrong reasons. But the thing is that they have a dynamic and they really do care for each other, and that's the thing that you realize, that every single thing that Haley's doing is for Mooney in the end. She's just doing it to care for Mooney. She's doing whatever she needs to do to get money to care for Mooney. But what I really loved about this movie and what was so unique about this movie, it's all from Mooney's perspective. So you see it from a 6-year-old's perspective, and from a 6-year-old's perspective, this looks wonderful. Her life is an adventure every day, running around the Magic Castle, which is the motel she stays at, which is a purple motel. She runs around it with her friends, and she goes to the motel next door, which is like another theme, and basically she makes her own amusement park in her head. And now this isn't laid out directly, but you'll see this as she goes on. It's her and her two best friends who, either live in the complex or live in the complex next door, and they make their own adventures. And that's how this is so fascinating, because, as adults we're watching this and you could see that this is really gross, and you see the poverty and the gross things that are happening inside these hotel rooms, but then you see it from the kid's perspective, and it's shot so beautifully cinematography wise that it looks so luscious and it looks like a place you would want to be, and that's all because of the kid's innocence. And I really think that that was a great, unique role to take on this, and it was a great way to throw us into a very harsh reality. Anyway, now let's get to the picture quality. So this is a 4K digital intermediate, and this looks absolutely fantastic. I have nothing to complain about. When comparing this with the Blu-ray, this looked miles better. Now, where this is a big step, I would say, is the detail. The details on Willem Dafoe's face are very present, whether it be the stubble on the hair or the crevices on his face. He is aging at this point. The landscape itself, the furniture inside of the motel room, you can see a lot more wear and tear on the furniture, and you can see a lot more detail like on the carpet stains within the motel, the little chips on the purple Magic Castle, little things like that are a lot more present and detailed. Now, this was shot on 35mm film, so we do get some film grain, but most of this was shot in the daytime, so you can't really tell the grain too much. So for all you grain haters, do not worry at all, and it adds a nice texture in my opinion. Now, sadly, there is no HDR on this release, but honestly, the colors really are so vibrant from the way they shot this movie that I wish it was HDR, but the colors pop off the screen without it. Don't get me wrong, I wish there was HDR, there was Dolby Vision, but this is such a bright and colorful movie that I didn't find myself with a lack of wide color or anything like that when watching. Anyway, guys, I made this review more or less just to review this movie and get my word out there. I found this movie just to be a fantastic slice of life, showing how it is to be living paycheck to paycheck, motel to motel, and just showing how it is to be living right outside of paradise. The kids' Disneyland is paradise, and imagine living right outside that your whole life, watching that, hearing that. but still being able to make the best of it. And really, the movie just took me emotionally, and I loved it. Anyway, guys, let me know down below if you saw this movie. I know that it didn't get too much buzz. It's starting to now. Let me know down below if you saw it. I highly recommend it. Have a good day, guys.